Good afternoon, families. It is Friday, April 25th, 2025, and I'm coming to you with our science report for the week. So let's get right into our top two. Tuesday, March 29th is the third grade family music night. The event starts at 6 o'clock, and it will be fun for everyone. So please support music, Miss Church, and our hardworking third graders, and look for this in your things that came home this weekend. Number two, Scholastic Book Fair is returning to Lake Bluff. So our class is scheduled to go on Tuesday, May 5th, so a couple weeks out. But please remember, just in case, shopping at the fair, of course, is always optional. But an easy way you can provide funds for your student is to set up an e-wallet. Please do that. That's amazing if you'd like. Directions on how to do that will be coming home next week on Monday with a book fair flyer. Our classroom also has an e-wallet set up to fund books for the entire classroom and all students. And you can click the link in the email to follow that if you are so inclined. And all donations would be wonderfully appreciated. If you have any questions, just let me know. And now we'll get into our vlog points for the week. So in SEL, students are learning this week and into next week about applying their emotional management and communication and empathy skills to solve interpersonal problems and demonstrate strategies on how they can just effectively deal with personal conflict. So the goals of this are to literally say and state the problem, like what's going on, think of solutions, explore outcomes, like what could happen, what are the positives or negatives, depending on what you do, and then pick a solution for the problem you have that you think will best solve it. So we're working on that, and it's going pretty well. In English module block, students have been using notes from multiple sources that we have been reading, from books and articles, to compare and contrast the main message of things that we are reading. Then, partners and teams work together to compare their notes and determine the main idea and text details that support their understanding of that main idea. We're working our way towards a compare and contrast comparative essay format based on our book, One Well, and a secondary text, which is like usually an article or another piece of something that we are reading. This has been providing students the opportunity to identify specific water problems around the world, whether that be use or access, pollution, those kinds of things, and help them identify ways that they can solve it. This is all building to our final culminating project activity by the end of the year. Very cool. In math, students are learning fractions and about fractions, how they can represent amounts and quantities. So they've been building name and non-unit fractions by making copies of a unit fraction, and then recognize that a whole can be compromised or made of a part of a fraction and a non-unit fraction. So the idea that a whole is 1 and a fraction of 1 would be 6 over 6, so 6/6. Those models and drawings are really helping students kind of prepare to represent fractions on a number line, which is a further third grade standard that is coming up. There's Miss Miller right there in the background. Top notch. In social studies, our illustrious Miss Miller has been helping us work through and read and learn more about the Anishinaabe people, and specifically this week, how families traded for different goods and to acquire tools, crafts, and foods that they need to survive. We've found out that communities often shared the responsibility of work and delegated responsibilities and jobs such as trading, making weapons and tools, gathering berries, seeds, and plants, making clothing, containers, and bedding, and among all people, and as well, all the children helped as much as they could. So, chores, definitely something you could work on. It's always good. In the different Native American communities, children are often seen as a gift, and infants and toddlers are always treated with a great deal of respect. So we actually got to see a really cool video about how Native people used a cradle board, which is not unlike a car seat that we would use today, to secure comfortably little teeny tiny people and children while they were working, so they could be carried from place to place, or even worn almost like a backpack, so kind of like a baby Bjorn, if you're familiar with that kind of thing, while they were out working and doing things. Big takeaway so far from this week, there were two very important values that many of the people in the Anishinaabe communities really instilled on their children, which would be learning how to share willingly and to revere and protect nature by never taking more from it than you need. So all good, wonderful lessons to learn and enjoy. So That's kind of it for our vlog for the week. I hope you are happy and healthy. It's supposed to be like 75 on Monday, so please watch the weather so that we don't have melty, sticky students in the classroom. But have a fantastic weekend, and if you're a Star Wars fan, Revenge of the Sith is back in theaters this weekend, and don't forget, Music Night next week, Tuesday. All right, bye.